for that, and nobody called it. And I get what's going on. It's a street fight in pads, essentially. But at the end of the day, guys, you don't play playoff football like that. You play smart, not ghetto. And I don't understand why both teams, especially Marvin Lewis, who's 0 forever in the playoffs, 0-7 now, why he didn't think, you know what? All we have to do is let these people self-destruct with all these penalties, and we will win the game. And then he has Jeremy Hill, of all people, after the game, he was required to apologize to the team for fumbling the ball. Jeremy Hill wasn't the cause of your issues. Yes, fumbling the ball is
absolutely ridiculous.
That's not your issue. Your issue is how much you lost control of that team. Jeremy Hill was being a road warrior after Giovanni Bernard got his bell rung. That was the hit that I'm talking about. And that's the problem I'm talking about, guys. You guys let this become a street fight, and then you make somebody like Jeremy Hill apologize for fumbling the ball. Yeah, he shouldn't have fumbled the ball. But, you would have won the game if you would have just kept your composure, Vontaze Burfict.
Whoa.
They also didn't call that penalty on Vontaze Burfict when he took the ball and ran all the way into the locker room with everyone. That game got out of control. And Marvin Lewis, honestly, look, to have as many people on that team as Marvin Lewis does, it's probably time for him to go, honestly. And then to be handling it this way, I haven't seen Vontaze Burfict come out and apologize. I haven't seen him do anything like that. So, it just got out of control and was clearly unacceptable.
He's been suspended now for 3 weeks, which I think is great, but I think both these coaches should probably be suspended as well for a couple of weeks at the beginning of next season. I really do. I think that this is enough where these coaches should share in the responsibility that their players had on the field. Also, one more thing to talk about in this game that I think definitely needs a point of context is Vontaze Burfict not the scariest mofo ever? He was left undrafted, I think, because the guy is freaking insane. I mean, literally, he looks like the Candyman met Freddy Krueger in my worst freaking nightmare. I have never been so scared of a human being. He gave me chills. I've never done that before during a football game. And I've gone against some really big guys, and this wasn't even real life. I got chills that went up my arm and spine watching this behemoth of an angry man walk around without his helmet on. And I was like, oh my God, this is the scariest man alive. It's frightening. We're way past break. I am so sorry. So guys, we got to go to break. Matt and I will be back shortly. When we come back, we'll be talking about Seattle versus Minnesota and Green Bay at Washington.
Finally, can we take a moment and stop listening to these idiots long enough to get the Cars for Kids jungle stuck in my head?
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also on the web at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a free vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Are you looking for the web's best sports news? Visit jockjournal.com. Sports media has lost its touch. It seems that journalists are scared to report what they see, in fear of losing access to the teams they cover. At jockjournal.com, you get inside information on the entire NFL community without all the politics or fears other writers have. That's jockjournal.com. When you need the NFL sports news, information, opinions, fantasy football, or discussions, there is only one place to go.
You are listening to Jock Journal Radio. News, opinion, and discussion for all you jock stars.
Support for this show comes from Material.
Material is a simple and intuitive e-commerce platform that lets you get your online store started without paying a dime. That's right. No ads, no setup costs, no transaction fees. Experience a fresh and easy new way to sell online by signing up at Material.com today.
Okay, we're back. I had to surf porn and post my pics on an adult website.
All right, Jock Stars, we are back, and we are bad, and we are awesome. We're coming to you live from both Oklahoma City and Austin at the same time. Matt, we got one more text from the 904 that says, KC will win. I want to hear Matt say the Pats are going down.
Yes, I already said it, so good job. Pats are going down. There you go.
Okay. So, I guess we got to talk about the Seattle Seahawks game. I know. You're going to throw out all kinds of things about how the Seahawks were lucky. So let's go ahead and let you talk about the game first.
No, here. Yes, hey, anybody who watched that game saw that the Seahawks got lucky. 100%. The fact that they missed a chip shot field goal is luck. It is. And I know it, I'll let you have your rebuttal. No matter what you say, no matter what Seattle did, the fact that he missed and got botched on a simple kick like that is luck. But I do want to say this. Giving that guy a hard time, that kicker, is absolutely insane. The blame doesn't fall on him. The blame falls on that whole team. That guy was the only guy on the team that could score any points. It was 9 points only because of him, Blair Walsh, up to that point. Guess what, Minnesota? If you ever want to do well in the playoffs, score a touchdown. Learn how to – that's all you had to do, and you wouldn't have been in that position. You botched a couple plays. You made a bunch of mistakes. Every time you had the ball, it was 3 and outs until that very last drive you started getting things going. I think Kyle Rudolph, your tight end, had 2 catches, and it was at the end of the game. I think 1 catch, and the other one was that pass interference call. But that's it. You had 0 offense the whole part of the game, and then you're going to see, it doesn't fall on Blair Walsh. It falls on Minnesota. You had every opportunity to win that game. Seattle's offense was terrible. The only time they got anything going was that broken play by Russell Wilson. I actually think, and this is something as a Seattle fan I'd be concerned with. Seattle's offense, Russell Wilson, is not geared to step back in the pocket, make his reads, and make the throw. If you cover that, all he's got is his run. And if you just spy a guy out there, you don't even have to tackle him in the backfield. Just make sure he only gets 3 or 4 yards. They're going to go 3 and out like they did multiple times. That's it. He didn't start getting good until the play broke down, and then everyone runs around and some guy gets open. If you prevent that from happening, then you're going to beat Seattle. I would be concerned if I'm looking at that offense going into play, anybody, especially Carolina, because that offense is not good enough to do much more than that, unfortunately. They've done it in the past, but they weren't playing good defenses. Anytime they played a good defense, this is what happened. But they got lucky in this game that Minnesota couldn't score touchdowns. And I don't want to say lucky. Their defense played great. But this was much too close of a game for a team that should have been routing Minnesota and did a couple weeks ago. Now you can go.
Okay. So, Matt, I concur with you on almost everything that you said, but I think the first thing we need to look at with this game was Marshawn Lynch's decision to be absent, okay? I know what a lot of people are thinking. They think that Seattle's just in a love fest with all of its players, and it's an unconditional circumstance. Those are the bandwagon fans, guys. Those are the people who just kind of came on, and they're so stupid they don't know what the hell they're doing, okay? I'm going to explain what's happened with the Marshawn Lynch situation. Come Friday, when the team was supposed to leave on the bus to go to the plane and stuff like that, all the players were supposed to show up at the training facility in Renton. Well, all of them showed, except for one person that nobody expected not to show because he was supposed to be a highlight in the game, and that was Marshawn Lynch, a la Beast Mode. Now, Beast Mode has been a very, very, very important and integral part of Seattle's system throughout the years, and to their success. However, this year has not been that way. Beast Mode has been given a free pass on many of occasions. Marshawn Lynch has been able to kind of set his own agenda. He's been told when he's he basically tells the team when he's going to play and when he isn't going to play, or how things are going to go, or even if it's time for him to get the ball. Thus, the star power that he has, and it's formidable. He's the only person who's created enough of a stink and had enough of a need to force Pete Carroll and John Schneider to go ahead and give in to his demands and make him a very highly paid running back. However, we all know of his hernia surgery. We all know he was heading back, and we all know that he was on the field. Only to not tell the team they would just not show up for the team bus to go to Minnesota. Not the right thing to do. We get it.
What happened?
Well,
I'm confused.
It's completely unannounced at this point. I can't figure it out. I don't know. It looks like Beast Mode being prima donna yet again. He was in practice, full participant in many different occasions. It looked like he was supposed to go. And then he just basically pulled out. And at this point, I have to say, Beast Mode...
He said he wasn't feeling right? He said, hey, I don't physically feel right.
I get it.
But why don't you travel with the team and stand on the sidelines?
Yes. Exactly.
Too cold?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just pissed me off to this point where I think that Beast Modes has to go. I really do.
Are they going to let him play next week?
If they do, I'd be surprised. Because why spend a whole week game planning to carry the rock a la Beast Mode to only have him just decide, I'm not going again? No, we need something we can depend on. I say put Beast Mode on IR, and then at the end of the year, release it.
There's no way Seattle does that.
I know, because they've been the whole organization has been
his knob for a while,
and it needs to stop. This whole I'm only going to talk to the media when I want to. I'm only going to practice when I want to. He didn't even show up for his own rehab from his surgery. He just basically left the whole team and took a vacation for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, shocker. This is how Seattle acts. They're arrogant, and they do whatever they want. Why are you surprised by this?
Not all of Seattle. Just a few key individual players. And this is one of them, and I think he needs to go. I think Marshawn Lynch needs to go. Now, let's talk about the game. The game was exactly about what I expected. In fact, I pronounced it as a 10-6 victory. Seattle wins last week. And everybody's like, what? How can it be that? No, you can't get it's that low because of the freaking cold. And if you've ever played in cold similar to that, you will know how much it dominates the game. You can't get the right footing. You can't get the right traction. You can't do everything the way you want to. However, just like typical Russell Wilson, when a play breaks down, he was able to find Tyler Lockett, spark the offense, everything. Well, everybody pretty much knows how they pulled ahead 10-9 and left it to one field goal. Now, Blair Walsh had 3 field goals earlier in that game. 3 field goals. And I went through the process of going through NFL game plan. His first field goal from the time it was snapped to the time it was in the air, was kicked, was 0.785 seconds. His second one...
Did you time this yourself?
Yes, I did. In very slow-mo motion, too, and everything else, 0.785 seconds. His second one was 0.812 seconds. His third one was 0.779 seconds. Okay? That third one was almost blocked. In fact, Richard Sherman actually got the end of his finger on the edge of that ball as it was going past him. The fourth one, that famous field goal miss. They decided that the smart thing to do, the Minnesota Vikings decided the smart thing to do was to speed it up because they had found that they can't find a way to contain Richard Sherman, and he almost blocked one. They didn't want to have it happen again. They didn't want to see Cam Chancellor doing his little jump over the line thing that he did last year. They wanted this to be an easy field goal, so they're like, it's a chip shot. We can't miss it. We'll just speed this thing along. And that was done from the snap to the kick in 0.559 seconds. Okay? 0.26 seconds faster on an average than the other ones. When you speed up your mechanics on something like that, that's where things go wrong. Not only was like the laces in, which everybody's going to assuredly say this is the reason it happened. But when you